lot. Again, he didn't have a great freshman year, but if you look at him like on film, he has the ability to do certain big things. Malik Beasley out of Florida State might be that next best after the Murray and Hill might be the next best shooter in this draft. Another freshman that came out early. Again, I think teams will make it a point this year to improve their shooting more than they did in the past. Another couple of international guys, which I know nothing about, which will go in the first round, is Furkan Korkmaz and Timothy Luwalu. Luwalu's more of a combo guard. Korkmaz is more of like a small forward-ish type of player. These guys are looking to go in the first round, and again, if I'm a team with multiple picks like the Celtics, I would just draft as many internationals as possible and stash them. What do you have to lose? Nothing at all. And you have them locked into that 4-year contract at what $2 million a year, where now the minimum contract is an average NBA player that gets paid $12 million a year regularly. It's an enormous asset to have, and I don't see what the problem is. Let's draft 6-7 internationals, keep them all overseas. What's the big deal? And eventually they'll come over and you know have their rights. Other players I like in this draft, I've been talking to my friend earlier today. I'm a huge Ben Bentel guy. Again, I'm a big East St. John's fan, so I watch him play a lot. He's a 6'8" power forward. He's built like a rock. He's athletic. He could rebound. He could score from anywhere on the court. He can shoot from outrageous distances. He can score down low. He can just do it all. Now, drawback is that he's a little short and that his defense wasn't good last year. But that's something that I think with his athletic ability he could change. I mean, he has the ability to block shots. He has the ability to guard guys bigger than him. Just that he just didn't do it last year. That might come with coaching. Another interesting player is Scott Labissiere. Coming into this draft, everyone had him mocked like before the college season, the top 3, top 4 pick. He had a really bad year at Kentucky, even though he had some flashes at the end of some success. At the end of the day, he's a 6'11", 7-foot guy with crazy athleticism, and he can shoot also, which you see a lot more often. Like I said before, shooting is becoming a big thing. It looks like everyone can shoot now. And Labissiere is going to be a guy that's going to go in the mid-teens. And again, the guy that won't be ready for another 2 years, but it's someone that if you're drafting later on, you can take a chance on, sit in for a year or two, and see what happens. And who knows what can come out of this. A lot of guys running on the boards is Malachi Richardson out of Syracuse. Everyone got a chance to see him this year, when the Cuse made it went to the Final Four, he put up some big numbers. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he'll be a solid NBA guard, which again. If you draft a solid NBA guard, it should be a team in the 25 to 30 range. Someone takes him in the top 14, top 13, you're not going to get the player you think you're going to get. And that's one problem I have with players like that. Another guy is Denzel Valentine, who everyone's going to recommend. Everyone's going to compare to Jim Montgomery because he will fall in this draft because he's a senior and he's had injury problems like Draymond had. He's going to fall in this draft and he's going to prove everyone wrong. These Michigan State guys come to this league ready to play, especially the seniors. This guy's been a winner his whole life. He can do a lot of things well on the court, and whoever gets him will have a steal in their hands. One more guy I want to touch on is Henry Ellenson out of Marquette. Coming out of high school, he's touted as the next Kevin Love because he's a white big man who could shoot. He actually did not shoot well last year at all, but he can shoot. If you see any mistakes, he can shoot from anywhere. He can shoot from half court with accuracy and hit 10 in a row. He just didn't have a good year last year shooting-wise, which is definitely scary, but he's 6'11". He's actually a bit more athletic than Love was coming out, but not as good of a shooter, not as good a rebounder. But he's a guy that can do those things well. And for a team looking for a stretch four, I think he's going lower than I think he should go. That's for sure. Pretty much, there's other players that I like to touch on. Like I love Tyler Hughes out of Kentucky. I love Kay Felder. Both guys out of Oakland. Both guys are like 5'8", 5'9", even shorter. But especially Felder, who's graded out as the best athlete at the combine, and Eulis, who's a good athlete himself. These guys can score at will. You saw Isaiah Thomas being All-Star last year, led the team to the playoffs. There is room for these guys in the NBA anymore. There is room for them, and I don't see why a player being shorter should hurt them anymore. Even defensively, it's not a big deal at all. Stephen Curry doesn't guard anyone either. It's not a big deal. Other guys I like, again, Gary Payton Jr., who can defend any. He might be as good as a defender as his father is, and he can shut down any guard, any point guard there is. And at the end of the day, he can score also, and he's got a good shot, and he's athletic. He may not be that ideal point guard that can break someone down, but he's got some skills to him. And Isaiah Whitehead out of Seton Hall, And some people think he's a point guard. I don't think he's a point guard at all. I think he's more of a Dion Waiters type of player. I think in comparison to him, a Dion Waiters type of player, guy that can get his own shot, that can get to the rim and can shoot, but has does some boneheaded play sometimes. Dion Waiters been fourth pick in the draft. This guy's in the second round, so you might get a good value out of that. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Have a good day.